we don't look as food.
It's munch.
We turn into these little gremlins.
We
and it's
actually
munch.
do.
And we like walk around in our little like bathrobes. Food time. Let the lady in. Do you know what I mean? We do. We are. We're fucking animals. It's really, really bad.
I think I'm a little bit socially awkward.
Do you reckon that's why? Because I've actually kissed Jessie out in public before and I've caught her with her eyes open looking about to see if anyone else is looking. We get up to the hotel and I kid you not, I get my trousers off as fast as I can, ready to have a poo, knock the lid of the toilet, so the toilet lid's coming down. I sit down on the toilet and start pooing, but it's coming and I can't stop it and I end up pooing on top of the lid.
Fucking disgusting. Welcome back to another episode of Agree to Disagree with myself and Will.
So I had a really insightful last couple of days. So me and Jessie went to this event where I don't know why I really got the invite, but I went with Jessie and it was for this like a therapy. That's right, isn't it?
Therapy clinic, yeah.
Therapy clinic, okay. And they basically do all of kind of like the jobs like Botox, filler. Aesthetics, we'll say.
Yeah, they also do laser hair removal.
Okay, yeah, so they'll do this aesthetics. And I'm a sort of person who you want to sell to me. I'm a consumer. I'm really bad.
Oh my God, yeah. So if you ever want to sell anything, Will is your best customer.
Do you know why?
You don't even have to sell anything. He just wants to buy it anyway.
Do you know why? I feel like it's because I stand there and ask questions and get to know the brand. Like I get to know what I'm buying. But I feel like you don't ask the questions. You're like, nope, not doing it. Do you know what I mean?
You just like to buy things.
Yeah, I do. I am. I'm a little shopaholic. But I was basically in this event and we sat down and we listened to like all the head people talking and it was really insightful. There was even a point where I kind of like raised my hand and was asking questions, wasn't I, for them? And I got brought into this room and for some reason, I don't know how it even happened, but they sat me down on the chair.
How did it happen? You said, I'll go for a consultation.
No, it wasn't like that. They asked me if I wanted a consultation. And Jessie's like mentioned this in the past, haven't you? Like, shouldn't you do sort of thing? But she wants me to make my own decision. So I went in and sat down and basically got onto the topic of these two treatments that I could possibly get, which is Botox, guys, and then also sperm.
Salmon sperm.
Is it salmon sperm?
Salmon sperm.
So, okay, for anyone who doesn't know, because I had no idea, and do you know the actual, what's the terminology?
I can't remember what the actual title is, but what we learnt last night, here and that, because I've seen a bit about the salmon sperm treatment, like Jennifer Anderson done it.
Is it salmon sperm? I thought it was a different fish.
Yeah, they went into all the science stuff, but like, let's just keep it simple. We'll call it salmon sperm. Salmon sperm for now.
I call it sperm in your face, because that's basically what happens. They inject this sperm into your face. They do, don't they? They inject.
So pretty much, I'm no expert in this area, but what I know and what I observed was they said that fish have the most DNA to humans. So what they can do is extract the sperm or something. And then when you put it back into a human's face, the DNA that's lost through aging, loss of collagen, etc., that salmon sperm will go back and replace that. So therefore, you have a more youthful, glowy look.
And that's exactly what we're going for. We were actually having this conversation before the pod about this. And it was like, we were trying to figure out who was the first person to do that. Like who out of their right minds is getting some sperm from a fish and putting it in their face?
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
I don't think it's actually the sperm that goes into your face, to be clear. I think it's like an extraction from the sperm, but it still comes from the sperm. I don't bloody know.
I'm telling everyone I'm getting sperm in my face. I think it's super funny.
He was walking around last night at this event going, I'm going to get the sperm in my face.
Yeah, everyone, when they were coming up to me and they were like, you can get everything done. I was like, hell yeah, that sperm's getting injected into my face. So basically I sat down and I was getting sold a dream and I was loving it. So basically when I put my eyebrows up like this, I've got deep lines. And when I'm blaming it because I've been farming my whole life.
That's cute though, and that's normal.
But I'm going to do it, I think. Well, I got persuaded into getting, I've booked a session, guys. So I'm actually maybe going in next week for it.
Well, the thing is,
which is terrifying.
If you did try Botox, it's not permanent.
No, 3 months. That's what they said.
Yeah, 3 months. It does wear off. And if anyone here is considering doing any type of injectables, Botox, anything like that.
Or the sperm.
make sure you go to someone good, okay? Don't go to
yeah.
someone cheap because you're putting that shit in your face. And your face is your identity, okay? So look after your face with these types of things.
You heard it here first. So I'm getting sperm and Botox as of next week. I want everyone to let me know what do you think? Because I'm a little bit terrified, but I'm like, God, I'm going to Australia at the end of the year. I could be glowing, I could be popping, do you know what I mean? This could be a new me. But the scary thing is it's super addictive, right?
Yeah. So I actually got Botox not that long ago, but I went the whole year pretty much without Botox, and you saw my face when I was like frowning and stuff.
Oh my God, yeah. So this is what Jessie says when she's like run out of Botox, because she goes, you can see the emotion in my face. Because you can't frown really, can you?
No, but apparently if you can't frown as much.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, because your brain has like a cycle, a loop. So when you frown, it like sends signals to your brain and actually you stay in this loop of being in a worse mood for longer. So when you actually take the frowning aspect out, you actually are in those bad moods for less of a period of time.
Less amount of time, yeah. You're in more of a happy bubble, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so imagine me. I'm always happy. Botox as well. No frowning from me. So the biggest worry that I had was basically when I raise my eyebrows when I talk a lot, don't I?
Yeah, but I think that's cute. And you also do it when you like...
My biggest worry was losing that.
Yeah.
I was like to the doctor yesterday, am I going to be my face just going to be very like plain and no emotion?
Is that what mine's like?
No. He got a beautiful face. Yeah, I can never tell when Jessie's happy or sad. No, but that was my biggest worry. But it's more about the deep lines.
Yeah.
It is, isn't it?
It's more of like a preventative thing.
Yeah. But I'm super excited about getting this sperm on my face.
I think one of the things is you're obviously excited, but like for anyone else considering getting injectables and whatnot, I think there is like a really big trend of getting it done really young when it's actually not necessary. And I think one of the really important things is, as long as you don't feel like you need it or you can't survive without it, then it can be fine. It can be a healthy thing.
But when did you get Botox?
So I did get Botox for the first time when I was like 22, I think. And I literally got 11 units, so a tiny amount.
You need to explain this. For any of the men listening, we don't understand.
It's how much you get. So 11 units is, I think it cost me like $60.
In what? Are you talking?
In just here.
Oh, Botox, right?
Yeah, Botox,
okay.
Botox. And the reason I got it is, sorry mum, sorry dad, I love you guys so much. But once we were sitting at the Christmas table.
Don't dob your parents in. What's going on?
Yeah, so we were sitting at the table for Christmas and I did have like little mini 11 lines, which isn't deep. So that's like these 2 lines here.
Do I have them?
No. There's like frown lines. Even though
Are you sure I don't have
from
them?
it.
Really?
No, you don't. When you frown, you do.
Okay.
But I was sitting at the table at Christmas and my auntie was talking about how she got Botox for the first time.
Yep.
And she said, she got the line there and hers was deep. And she just said to me, she's like, it's hereditary, Jess. And then I looked at mum and dad.
Sorry,
and
what does hereditary mean?
It's passed down by your family.
Okay.
She's like, we've all got the frown lines. And then I like looked at mom, she's got the frown line. Looked at daddy, he's got the frown line. Looked at my auntie, I was like, oh my God.
That's what I'm going to turn out like.
And like nothing wrong with it, but I was like, you know what, I'm going to do the preventative thing. And I did get it like once or twice, but it was a lot of money. And
did you ever get hooked on it? Because people do get addicted onto Botox.
It is a nice feeling, but I am like, so whenever I change something about myself, I always feel really guilty. And I like.
Why do you think that is then?
Because I'm like, it's my face, it's me.
Yeah.
And I always am like, you hear me, I'm like, I need to love myself, like natural, take my hair extensions.
Self-love.
out. So I do get it, but I think a lot of people go and get like Botox injectables, all that type of thing, like every single 3 months. I also read that it's really important to not let your muscles and your face be relying on Botox because it actually thins the muscles out. So waiting for like 6 months at least. So letting all the Botox wear off and then getting it topped up instead of just go.
Okay.
But it's nice. It's like a little. It is a nice. I do like it. Like it makes me like glow a bit. I do.
Because you're about 6 months. Isn't it about 6 months last time you got Botox?
I got Botox right at the start of the year and then I recently got it. So my face was all worn out.
Yeah.
But I loved being able to frown again and like do the facial expressions.
What are your thoughts on me getting it?
You know what?
Against, don't care, do what I want to do.
You're very excited, so I'm not going to like dampen your mood.
What is it? I'm like fucking, I'm getting a sperm in my face. I'm like, how cool is that? I can't wait to go home and tell my parents as well.
But you're definitely beautiful without it. And I love seeing your emotion in your face and whatnot. But you will still be just like stunning with it in your face too. So you do you, boo.
I think the thing that settles with me quite nicely is that 3 months, if I'm like looking at myself in the mirror and I feel like I look terrifying, do you know what I mean? Then 3 months gone.
Yeah.
Right?
It'll be a little interesting.
I can just get fucking hooked, man. I can just get hooked on that shit. You never know. You don't?
I don't. Well, you've been like a little bit of a London boy lately because we've been traveling into the podcast twice a week at the moment.
I'm a London
We're
boy.
working
I'm a
hard.
city boy, baby.
Yeah.
I'm a city slicker now.
I know, you're loving it.
I know, I've got my jeans, my trench coat, my trainers. I'm feeling like a real fucking London boy.
This morning you had your first matcha.
Oh yeah, shout out Matcha. First losing my VJJ, my virginity Matcha time. It was crazy. So when I first got them, I basically told them, like, guys, I'm like, getting my first Matcha.
Matcha latte, by the way.
Matcha latte, I know, but it was awesome. And they were trying to sell me all of these different like flavors and different things like that. And I was like, look, we got to cut to the chase now. I'm losing my VJJ with matcha. I don't want the special treatment. Just give me your standard matcha and I'll see if I like it or not. And I got it with coconut milk, a hint of vanilla, and it was delicious.
Yeah, it was delicious. And I think it was delicious because the vanilla in it. Because I think matcha on its own is not all the hype.
I was super excited because she gave it to me for free. Because I was getting my VJJ virginity getting taken from the matcha. I was awesome. I was like walking around with my suitcase, trench coat, matcha in one hand. You know,
living the London city life.
That's cool.
Yeah, we've been getting the tubes. So for anyone that doesn't know, Will is a farmer, Mr. Farmer Will over here, and we live on a farm. So, you know, taking the boy to London is like...
It's a big day out for me. It is.
I love it. I love seeing...
It is a really big day out. But we're getting used to the tubes now. That was quite a scary thing, especially so a couple of days ago was the first time we went to the tubes during rush hour. Wouldn't recommend it, hate it, you know. I'm just trying to stay away from that business.
I have a fear
people
of the
actually
tubes.
Squished on the tubes.
The tubes is terrifying. I honestly am they move so fast and there's so many people there. I will stand against the wall because I just think like, I don't know, it's just I just hate it. I can't. It actually terrifies the hell out of me. And there was this lovely older gentleman. He had a backpack on and everyone was like crammed into the tube like sardines.
Right.
And he was like getting in, his bag was getting caught in the door.
Bless.
And I was like, dude, is the tube going to take off with the door open and his bag trapped in it and he's going to get like sucked out? That's how my brain works.
I feel like people on tubes are animals anyway. Like it is like barge in.
They don't care, yeah.
It is. I'm like, I would just wait until the train empties a little bit. I wouldn't like to barge my way through.
Oh my God, yeah. He was desperate to get on. Luckily he got in and the tube wasn't taken off with the door open because I was like, dude, he's going to get sucked out. And like, do you know what I mean? It's going to be like a horror film. I was absolutely terrified by the thought of that. But I was also looking, I don't know, really crammed places stress me out a lot. I was looking at the people sitting in the middle of the tube and there were like people crowded, packed in all through the corridor at both ends. And I was like, okay, if you have to get off and you're sitting there and all the people are at the front, what do you do?
That happened yesterday.
I would miss my
we
stop.
had our suitcases in the middle and people had to like climb over the suitcases, didn't they?
Yeah, but they were going, excuse me, like really loud. And I was like, I could never.
London, you're a scary,
I just
scary
stay
place.
on the tube to the last stop.
Yeah.
I've actually done that with a bus. I
Really?
couldn't get off the bus because there were too many people in the corridor, so I had to stay
Well,
on.
you just didn't even bother trying? Or
No,
they wouldn't let you?
I was just too scared.
Because you're so teeny tiny. Such a little teeny tiny person.
How do I get out? So I just had to stay on.
I know. Speaking about animals on the tubes, we're animals as well. So because we're coming to London a lot more and like going to events, we're staying in a lot more hotels. And we're terrible when we come to hotels, right? Because obviously we're little country bumpkins. We live in the country. Uber Eats isn't really a thing. If you want a restaurant, you have to drive quite far away, sort of thing. So whenever we come to London, we are little piggies, aren't we? Well, I say we. I'm definitely a little piggy and I get so excited. So we stayed in a hotel last night, and I don't know what gets over me, but you look at the menu and you're like, right, I'm just gonna get everything. I'm a lot more controlled at home, but when I get in a hotel, God, like I'm an animal.
Oh yeah, 100. It's like our lucky day out. The only thing is we're just having lots of days out like that. But whenever we are like go to a hotel or whenever we're in this specific mood.
I'm like, I want everything.
Yeah,
Give me
everything.
everything.
But the thing is, we're really bad for it because we both encourage each other.
Yeah, I
Me and my
know.
best friend used to do this. We'd be sitting at home. We'd be like, do you want to go get cookies?
Yeah.
And she's like, I only want to get cookies if you want to go get cookies.
Yeah, I've noticed like you do that to me. It's like, so what do you want? Like,
Yeah,
this, but you never go that you want it. You're like, oh, this looks pretty good. Like,
Yeah,
do
and
you
I'm
think
like,
you would want that one?
sussing the vibe. If you said,
Subtly
oh no, I don't
winking at
feel
me
like
oh,
that.
should we get this one?
So when we're in this mood, food is not food in our eyes.
No.
It's munch.
Oh my God, yes.
That's what we call it, munch time.
Yeah, we have this like little inside joke where whenever we're on like a little binge or like we're being a little bit greedy, we don't look at food as food.
It's munch.
We turn into these little gremlins.
We
and it's
actually
munch.
do.
And we like walk around in our little like bathrobes. Food time. Let the lady in. Do you know what I mean? We do. We are. We're fucking animals. It's really, really bad. But I think it is really bad, but there's nothing worse about when, I can't really say this about
we are
you,
actually
but
gremlins.
I'm really bad when I'm pissed.
Oh my God.
Pissed, hotel, ordering food. It's not.
You're out of control.
It's not good.
You're actually out of control.
It's not good.
Do you know what? When it's lunch time, like I've always been like conscious, like, you know, oh, that thing's like 50 pounds. No, do you know what I mean? Like I'm not getting that. He don't care. He's getting the munch. If he wants something, he's getting it. If he wants two, he's getting them.
It's really bad because
Remember that time you ordered 3 steaks and 3 cheesecakes when you were drunk?
Yeah, that was fucking good though.
After a night
I
out?
have no concept of, you know, the saying like eyes and belly. I have no concept. I'm like, I want everything. But do you know what it is? I just want a nibble of everything. But I just don't end up eating it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll order like stupid amounts, like up to like 200-300 pounds of like food. It will all come. I've got Jessie me here going, no, don't. Like,
I've actually posted a couple videos on my TikTok, and we were looking at one the other day. And like,
there's so many in the drafts that I'm like, you can't fucking post them. You actually can't. I'm an animal. I'm literally grabbing the food by my hands and going, fucking sauce everywhere all over my face.
I remember like once we were in the taxi on the way home and Will went quiet after a night out. And
oh yeah, this is smart though, people. I
This
know
was
exactly what Jessie's going to say.
I was like, what are you doing? He's like, nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Because he knows I'll be like, oh, like, don't get that. Only get one of those. And you get really annoyed. Whenever I try to tell him, I'm like, you know, maybe that's too much. He goes, fuck you.
Yeah, I go, fuck you. Come on, let me do what I want. In the most sincere way. This is a joke, people. It's not really bad. Like, I'm like, fuck you. I'm doing what I want. Let me do what I want, woman.
So, but yeah, he just like acted like nothing. I'm just like on my phone, like really drunk, by the way. We get home to the hotel and there's like these 3 huge bags of food. I'm like, what? And he's ordered the food on the way home in the Uber. So it actually arrives at the hotel at the same time as us. A little bit genius.
Is that smart or is that not bloody smart?
That is really smart. But you know what's dumb? The amount of times you have ordered food to the wrong address.
Oh my God. No, I blame
that really
Uber.
makes me angry as well.
I blame Uber for that because what and it sometimes happens. They should update your location when you get to the place. And obviously when I've had a few espresso martinis, I'm not checking the address. I'm just presuming it's coming from my current location. The amount of times like I've ordered food in America or to Ireland where we were previous, where I last had it.
Yeah.
And I'll spend all this money and I'm like, no. And they like send a picture of the food.
Sitting there and we're like, oh my God. We're sitting there waiting for our Uber Eats. We're like, why is it taking so long? Where is it? It's not delivered. He's not texting us.
Yeah.
It's because he's in bloody Ireland. We're in England.
It is really, really bad, isn't it? But the times that it comes, it is bloody good. You've got to admit it. Like, Jessie,
I do love the munches now.
Like,
They've grown on me.
But like, trust me, Jessie gets into it like me.
You know what? I've like embraced it. I feel like at the start, remember, I would never do that. Like when we were, like maybe I wasn't as comfortable in the relationship. I was like, oh no, I'm okay. Like I don't need anything. Now I'm like, give me that munch.
Yeah, give me that fucking munch, honestly. So we're being a little bit, we're actually, I feel like we're progressing a little bit. So me and Jessie are like major homebodies, aren't we?
Yeah.
But we've kind of like set ourselves a rule. We're like, right, come on, like,
go to an event.
Too much of a married couple now. We need to get out of the house here, you know. We're real homebodies, which obviously means that's coming to London a lot more, that's going to events a lot more, staying in hotels a lot more.
Yeah, going on little dates as well.
Yeah, but hotels are a scary place for me. And this is because I may have bad bowels.
Oh my God. Do you know what it is?
I don't know what it is. It's the food, and do you know what?
I know exactly what it is. It's the eggs at the breakfast buffet.
Not necessarily, that makes it sound pretty disgusting, but it's like, I have this real bad problem in the morning when I have breakfast, right? I can't control my bowels, and this was actually...
Not like you always make it to the toilet at home.
I didn't shit myself.
No, you're making it sound like you shit yourself.
I almost did this one time. So we were going to the BAFTAs. This was like, what was this? A few months back now. We were going to the BAFTAs and we had breakfast in the morning, and we were like, oh, it's a beautiful day outside. Let's go for a morning walk before we start getting ready. So we went, I don't know if we were going to a shop, probably Boots, to grab you something. I think
eyelashes, I reckon.
Yeah. We walked that, and then we were on our way home, and I was like, start looking, and I was like, Jessie, we need to like pick up the pace. Like we need to start speed walking.
Oh, and he doesn't start speed walking. He starts running. And I'm like,
that was by the end of it, though.
Don't let me run behind you.
No, that was by the end of it. So we got, and I don't know what it is, and I'm sure people get this as well. I feel like when you need the toilet, you can almost hold it, but then when you can see the toilet or the toilet's in sight and it's like the last couple of minutes, it doesn't wait, does it? It just starts dropping. So I was like, I had to, and I didn't poo my pants here, people, but it just honestly starts dropping. So I'm like God, I've got to go now. So I'm like running. I'm like, Jessie, if you want to get let in the room at the same time as me, you've got to run because we've only got one room key here.
Yeah, so I'm running behind him like in the morning after I've had breakfast, like running. We're both running through the corridors of this hotel.
Yeah, and we get up to the hotel and I kid you not, I get my trousers off as fast as I can, ready to have a poo, knock the lid of the toilet. So the toilet lid's coming down. I sit down on the toilet and start pooing, but it's coming and I can't stop it. And I end up pooing on top of the lid.
Fucking disgusting.
I know, and I had to call Jessie and I was like fucking squatting on top of this toilet. I was like, Jessie, you need to come in. Like, it's the most disgusting thing.
Mind you, I didn't run as fast as Will. I actually gave up and started walking.
I was like,
I was like,
you need to help me in here. And then obviously, I'm never going to leave that for a cleaner. I then had to clean my own poo up out from the toilet lid.
Fucking disgusting.
Yeah, it was really, really bad. But
I did feel really bad.
It was traumatic.
Because you looked so sad. You were like...
That was like just before we had to get ready for the BAFTAs, which is a really exciting thing
as much as I was like, I was like, oh, because your little face.
I was like hovering. I was like, what do I do? Like, what do I do?
I was like, oh my God.
And then Jessie's like gagging, going, get away from me. Like, I can't see that, get away.
Oh, I did feel really bad. But in all seriousness, you need to get checked out for IBS. You've got...
I don't even know what IBS means.
Irritable bowel syndrome.
Which is caused by what?
Irritable bowels.
For what reason?
I don't know.
What is the reason?
What is the reason? You need to go get that shit checked out.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. Speaking of animals, we've got a very special guest today. So we got Mr. Piggy over here.
Yeah, my little Mr. Piggy. And for any of the listeners who's not watching, it's this big... chubby, pink, fluffy piggy that I won Jessie, didn't I?
Yeah, you won it at a country show for me, which was really cute.
Hell yeah.
Spent about 100 quid trying to win it, but
you
got there.
It would have been fucking cheaper actually buying the pig on Amazon or something, wouldn't it?
We were standing there in the rain and Will was like, no, I'm going to win it. And he was like playing this game where you had to throw the balls into the bucket or whatnot.
I don't know what it is. I feel like a lot of people can relate to me in this situation. Like you just get so competitive and it's so difficult to actually turn around and walk away and admit you're a loser.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like that's what my feeling was and why I spent so much money. I was like, fuck this. I'm winning this pig.
I know. So you're getting frustrated. You're like, I need that piggy.
At one point, the dude actually behind the counter was like, dude, you just want to buy the pig? Like we sell the pigs and so on. And I was like, no, give me another round of balls and I'm going to knock these pins off.
So we would love to get some guests on our podcast. As you can see, we've got very big couches here, but at the moment we don't have any. So Mr. Piggy
will do for now, won't you?
Yeah, he's going to fill the void. But we would love to hear from you guys who you'd actually like to see on the podcast with us here. So Mr. Piggy, in the interim, he'll fill the void, but yeah.
Now moving on to the part of the podcast where we answer your dating debacles, where you guys send in anything you want and we will give the best advice that we can.
All right, so I think my boyfriend's become too comfortable. I just don't find him attractive anymore. He goes to the toilet with the door open.
Why are you looking at me? Why are you looking at me and smiling when you're saying this?
He doesn't wash
Did you write this in? What's the crack? Is there like an inside joke going on right now?
A little giggle. At least he doesn't shit on the toilet seat.
Fuck you.
So sorry. Yeah. He goes to the toilet with the door open, doesn't wash too often and never goes to the gym. What do I do? I'm starting to think I'm better.
Brackets, is this me? I do wash.
Yeah, you wash. Yeah, 100%.
Okay, this is from a girl's point of view, so what do you think?
I think with this one, what's he like in the relationship? I think
Does he make effort with you? I think is quite important. You know, I feel like if he doesn't want to go to the gym, doesn't matter. Washing, come on, mate. Do you know what I mean? No one wants to be smelly.
Do you know what I think? I think you genuinely need to ask if he's okay. Because if he hasn't always been acting like this, someone stops washing, going to the gym and stops caring about themselves. It's not that they've let themselves go. They might actually be going through something. And I think times like this in a relationship, he actually might need you a lot more than you think.
Yeah. Communication, right?
Yeah.
Communication.
And you also need to kind of think and weigh up, am I capable of being there for him through this little bad time, or am I not? Because if you're not, perhaps you're not cut out for this relationship.
100%. And I don't totally like, I go to the toilet with the door open. I think that's totally fine.
Yeah, but everyone, I guess, has their own little comfort zones. Like, if you don't like it, you can obviously raise the conversation, you know, maybe not do that or speak through it. And
I feel like that's the thing with always us, like breaking up or like not being together just is not an option. Do you know what I mean? If I do something that pisses you off or you don't 100% agree with and vice versa, it's not like, I can do better and I'm going to find someone else that doesn't do it. You talk to one another and you find out, okay, how can we get around this? Is there something else that I can do differently or you can do differently?
Exactly. Yeah, I think for you and with this one, it's not a matter of, am I better than him because he's not doing these things? It's, do I want to actually work through this? Do I actually see this getting better? Is this something I actually want? Because I think blaming your partner for doing little things, that's probably more of you trying to pick out excuses as to why you don't want to stay.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but
Yeah, that's a great analogy. It is. It's almost like looking for an excuse.
yeah. And both of you need to put effort in each ways. Do we agree on that one or disagree?
Yeah, I quite agree with your answer. I think you said it beautifully.
Look at us today agreeing.
I know. Let's see if we agree on this one then. My girlfriend is too nice and comfortable in our relationship. I know in our relationship she will accept me for whatever I do. She loves me too much. Bloody hell. I've cheated on her 3 times and she keeps taking me back. What would the right thing to do?
Probably not cheat 3 times.
Yeah. You fucking animal. What? So I'm like confused. Is this like, does your girlfriend know you're cheating on her?
So yeah. Oh, we got some issues here. Okay, firstly, don't cheat on your girlfriend 3 times. If you don't want to be with her and you want to sleep with other people, just don't be with her.
I feel like in a relationship, right, not cheating is almost the minimum you can do in a relationship.
It's just not it though, is it?
No, 100%. It's the minimum. You should not. If you cheat, you shouldn't be in a relationship.
Yeah.
Full stop.
I feel like, so with this is all I'm hearing. Excuses. So firstly, you're complaining.
Jessie's about to go off on you, boy.
Sorry, but firstly, you're complaining that she's too nice. What a crime. Do you know what I mean? You know,
what a crime.
Oh
I'm just going to back up Jessie on this one.
God, my girlfriend's so annoying. She's too nice.
I'm going to be a little hype woman. Come on, keep going. Hype man, sorry.
And she's very comfortable in our relationship. Isn't being comfortable in a relationship a good thing these days? Like, is that bad? Is that actually bad?
Is it?
She actually likes you.
Yeah.
She'll accept me for whoever I am or whatever I do. Amazing. Isn't that like what you want in a partner?
Exactly.
What a bitch. She
What a
just
bitch.
you know what I
no,
mean?
for sure.
She loves me too much. Fucking hell. Stop loving me so
Yeah,
much.
I know. What? Crazy.
Oh, mate, the bitch session's about this one. I'm telling you. This is what you got to complain about, mate. You're actually pretty lucky.
Yeah.
Oh, and I've cheated on her 3 times. You, sir, get the fuck out of that relationship because your woman deserves better. And she clearly doesn't know she doesn't even know she deserves better. She thinks that cheating is the norm. She thinks that she has to accept on someone cheating her on all the time because that's the expectation you've set for her. She's probably got low self-esteem and she's probably latching onto you because
You're a pig.
Because you've cheated on her. Do you know what
You're
psychological
like Mr.
effects
Piggy
that has on someone?
sat next to me right now.
Mean.
Slay, you smashed that. I didn't even need to say anything. High five.
Bless ya, but yeah, exit the relationship. You actually do her a favor.
That's what I did the whole time.
Went on a bit of a tangent there. Sorry, guys.
Nah, that was good. That was good. So moving on, and obviously with the episode of the pod, we're gonna be getting into how comfortable you are in your relationship, you know, and how comfortable. I would say me and you are like the maximum
Comfortable.
comfortability. Is that the word?
I guess.
Is that
can be.
is that a word? Comfortability? It's not a word. It's not a
It can be a
word.
word.
You know what I mean. Everyone knows what I mean. Comfortability. We're at like the max. I don't feel like we're comfort level. We're at 100.
I
max.
like comfortability.
Same. Fucking get that in the dictionary. But I reckon we're at the max. I honestly don't feel like I could be any more comfortable with you.
I agree.
Why?
I don't think you could be any more comfortable with me.
Why?
What
What do I do then?
Everything. I do see that you're very comfortable and I love it. And I can notice when you're uncomfortable in other situations, like say out in public and whatnot. And like the person I get with you behind closed doors, I just look at you. I think you're so cute. Like we're both very comfortable.
Okay. What level of comfortability? We're going to use that as a word.
110.
Now, guys. Okay.
110%.
All right. Awesome. Well, that's really good. How do you feel like we did it? I feel like for me, I got a lot more comfortable at the beginning than you did.
Yes.
Like, for backstory, guys, I pooed in front of Jessie with the door open one day. This was actually when we were still in South Africa.
Yeah.
When we were in our
Cast holding.
cast holding, like when we left the show afterwards. I just had the door open and just pooed. Because at the end of the day, everyone poos. It happens. You're going to get used to it.
Yeah, I think like with us two, obviously you being really comfortable around me showed me that you like me. Because I think you're not going to like shit with the door open with someone that you're just like, you know what I mean? You're not willing to kind of stay with. I don't know if that's normal for you. Like, did you usually do that?
Yeah. I do it in the public toilets now.
Oh my God.
We're all friends here.
Just to be clear, he's joking.
How do you know?
Please tell me you're joking.
You don't know that. You don't know what I do in the boys' toilet?
No, I don't.
No?
And the more you talk, the more I don't want to know.
Yeah. But you had a little bit of you used to run away when you needed a poo. And I always used to know when Jessie needed a poo as well, didn't you?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Any opportunity I could to not poo when I was like near you. I don't like talking about that stuff. I never have. I had a housemate that actually pooed with the door open and I was like, ew. Like,
you didn't like it?
I was like, girl, I can't look at you the same. Like, don't ever do that again. Like for me, I was like, it's not me. I'm not like I don't like the poo talk and stuff like that.
Really?
But
I'm at the point in our relationship where I'm like going for a poo and I'm like, Jessie, please can you come with me so I can have some company?
yeah, no, but you've like changed me a lot and like made me relax in those ways.
Yeah, it was really funny. So at the start of our relationship, I guess when Jessie was getting a little bit more comfortable with me, she would like do a fart and then like look at me in a really cute manner and be like, what? You do it as well?
You do it as well.
You do it too.
No, because
but it's like
if
a little
I ever,
toot, isn't it?
Yeah, if I ever did a little toot, you would like be looking at me like...
I was like,
You're like grinning at me and I'd be like, embarrassing.
Come on, do it again, girl.
I know, I'd be like, stop looking at me.
Yeah, I know, that is really funny. Do you think in a relationship, there's a such thing as being too comfortable?
I think that there is a difference between being too comfortable and being complacent, almost to the point where you just expect them to be there and almost don't respect them as much because you just think, oh, they're always going to be there. Kind of like this guy in our dilemma. You know what I mean? He's like complaining that his girlfriend's too nice. That is just him being too like, he's not respecting her.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So there's almost a difference between like the level of respect and being comfortable in a relationship might be like, I don't know, like maybe not washing for a day or being in your slouchies or having like a movie day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think like being kind of yourself.
A level of like and then there's the other side, which is just actual disrespect and not making an effort. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Like we definitely do that in our relationship, like trying to, I wouldn't say keeping it alive, but we always been like, we need to, get out the house, go for a coffee, go on like a walk, go for a date, something along those lines. So it's not like you're just in between those four walls all the time. You just
always expect them to be there. I think that's some people confuse like comfortable with, they're too comfortable with me, as in they don't make an effort anymore.
Yeah.
But I think we've never really done that type of thing. We've set the boundaries that we need to still appreciate each other, just as you did in the start.
Oh, no, 100%. I definitely feel like that. And there is and I feel like we do that well.
Oh, 100%.
I think we do that well, If, for example, like, we weren't doing, like, we don't feel like in our relationship we were doing enough. And, that happened when we came back from Australia, when we were jet lagged and just exhausted and tired. We weren't getting out the house. We weren't going to do anything. And that's when probably I had the tiniest bit of like a mental breakdown a little bit because I was like driving myself crazy because we weren't like going out and doing what couples do and going on dates. We weren't leaving the house or doing anything like that. So it's like almost realizing that and making change and being like, how can we sort this out sort of thing?
100%. I think as well, just as you would your friends, you should, when you have a relationship that you want to be serious and long term, I think you've really got to treat it like you would like a friendship or, everyone loves going out to get coffee with their best friend and whatnot. But then sometimes I hear in relationships, like people kind of rolling their eyes that they have to go, do something with my boyfriend or like they're nagging me. And it's like, no, that same excitement for your friends and family, that's what you should kind of have with your partner.
That's really interesting. Would you say then, because I've never heard you say that, that's really interesting. Would you say long-term relationships, you get married with someone, are more of a best friend than a relationship? Because I definitely see that, like, I know people who are in a relationship, but like they could go out separately and do they almost have like two different lives.
Yeah.
Where I feel like maybe long term, it's like your best friend.
Yeah.
Your group of friends are their group of friends, or you go out, you do, because that's like us, we're like combined. Yeah. We're like joined together. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I think it depends because I do really think if you're going to live with someone and spend your life with someone, it's got to be someone you enjoy being around, someone that you trust and hopefully...
Not keep you on your toes.
Someone that you do see as one of your best friends.
Yeah.
I think
we're best
with
buds.
my best friends though.
Are we best buds?
We're best buds.
Who do you like more, me or Hayley?
I love you and I love my best friend.
That means Hayley, doesn't it?
No, I love Hayley and I love you in two different ways. No, but the thing is, with my best friend Hayley, she has so many separate friends to me and goes out on nights out without me. It's not the end of the world. And I have a completely different life that our lives are completely separate, but we still love each other, still love seeing each other, still love being best friends. I think that's kind of the same in a relationship.
Yeah.
And like, for example, she's in Australia, but she's still my best friend. I think like with us, we have kind of merged into one person.
Yeah, okay. Actually talking about
But not
that,
everyone has to do that in a relationship.
Is it true? Because there's this theory when you like, especially like couples, when you're like with each other 24/7, in pictures you can almost see, and you've said this, haven't you, about your sister and her best friend?
Yeah.
You merge into the same person.
Start looking like each other.
Yeah, because we've actually had that a couple of times on our TikToks.
There's a video, yeah.
People are like, are you brother and sister?
And we're
things
like,
that.
One's Australian, one's British, but anyways.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, we don't do that business here.
Yeah, everyone was saying siblings or dating. And like...
Did I actually? I haven't got
No,
my
do you know
phone
what's
on me.
really
I feel like
awkward?
we sent our photos there. I feel like I did send it to their account.
What account?
The siblings or dating account, me and you.
You sent it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't think they put us on there though.
You did that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I don't think you did.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I did.
I didn't know
Last
this.
year. Yeah.
Why?
I thought it was funny. It was when we were getting a lot of comments from people saying that we were sister, brother and sister.
When my brother was over in from Australia and we were traveling, people thought me and you, because I'm here with my brother, they thought me and you were brother and sister.
Oh yeah, and they thought me and Jessie's brother were dating. Yeah. I was like, you got the wrong idea, pal. I'm dating his sister.
Yeah, they thought Will was my brother and my brother was Will's boyfriend.
Jessie's brother was here. We went traveling quite a lot, and one of the trips that we did was the whole of Italy, and this was near the end of our trip, and we were staying in where were we staying? Amalfi Coast.
Sorrento.
We were staying in Sorrento, and we booked into our where we were staying, and we were actually staying in this like little like outside house thing. And then we had neighbours as well. And funnily enough, they were Australian. And like after like 1 or 2 days, we actually got like into conversation with them. We got all a little bit more comfortable, with one another. And they actually said to us, I thought you three were a throuple. So like, what a throuple is, where I guess you're in a 3-way relationship.
Yeah, okay, just be very fucking clear. That's my brother.
I know, yeah. We all kind of like just looked at each other.
Ew, that's my brother.
Yeah, we looked at each other really worried and was like, that's my brother.
Well, I did discover why they thought that, because we were neighbours and from the outside it looks like our rooms were the same. So they thought we had a 1-bedroom place.
Oh my
and
God,
we were
imagine.
Like, yeah, that's what she thought.
Fucking hell, imagine 3 people actually on the double bed.
Ew.
Ew.
I don't want to think about that.
Yeah, but that always makes me real giggle, it does.
Yeah, and then another time we were leaving and Will was taking a video of me so we could make a TikTok when we were in Florence. And this guy goes, I'll take a photo of all 3 of you. Oh no, this guy goes, I'll take a photo of you 2, as in you and Brock. And then he's like, oh, gorgeous gay boys.
Oh,
do you
yeah.
remember that?
Oh my God, yes, this
Like, you
Italian
guys
man got a picture of me and Jesse's brother going, gorgeous gay boys, gorgeous gay boys.
I was like, that's a compliment because
he was calling us gorgeous.
Yeah.
I would say that any day. Let me up, make my ego bigger, boy.
Mind you, my brother Brock is literally like so...
He's quite socially awkward, isn't he?
He's a bit socially awkward. He's very like country.
Yeah.
He's like a tradie, you know what I mean? His favourite drink is like beer. Do you know what I mean? He's
You
like one of
barely
those...
get him to smile in a photo.
Yeah, and then so he just comes out with like me and Will, like we're like so like out there, especially Will, you're very like loud and like
flamboyant.
But he was like just rolling with it. It was quite funny.
Yeah, very, very cute. So obviously going off the back of being comfortable in a relationship, what are your thoughts on kind of like no makeup?
Well, mate, how often do you see me with makeup?
No, for sure. But I know there's a lot of people in relationships, and I can actually talk. So I know someone that, they've been dating for, 1 or 2 years. And I know she gets up before he wakes up, right? So in the morning, she will get up, do her makeup, and then get back into bed because she doesn't want him to see her like in the morning beauty, let's say, or like the morning where you're probably at your most vulnerablest, right? With how you look in the morning, like waking up, morning breath, and all that jazz.
The organisation is low-key a slay.
Slay,
do you know what I mean? Like,
the determination and like wanting to do, well, not necessarily wanting, but doing that every single day.
I think
slay.
I think with that, also does come down to who the person is. Because I know that I have friends who do their makeup every single day. She said because it makes her feel put together. It makes her ready for the day.
Like almost like a routine, morning routine regime sort of thing.
Yeah. But then I do think it is really sad if girls and boys ever feel like they need to look a certain way to impress their partner. Because at the end of the day.
Yeah, because I always find this quite interesting from that point of view. Is she doing it for herself because maybe the lack of self-confidence that she has, or, you know, she's not comfortable with how she looks, or is it because she doesn't want her partner to feel like she's ugly or not as pretty? Not that that probably would be the case at all, but it may be how she feels.
Yeah. I think as women and girls in society, there is a pressure to look a certain way.
Do you think?
And I feel like it's not necessarily just partners that they won't intentionally put those pressures on you, but just growing up as a girl, I feel like in the back of our minds, no matter what, society has already put that pressure on us since we were young girls. I think it's an issue.
Explain that to me a bit more. Why do you feel like that? What was it, stuff that you saw on social media?
I think like growing up, when you think about all like, you know, when back in the day when they had magazines and stuff, if a celebrity went out in public with no makeup on, it would be on the front of a fucking magazine being like...
Yeah, that was actually really horrendous when you think about that, because you had like Papsman or whatever, photographers hiding behind bushes and trying to get that like no makeup, like lounge clothes sort of look like outside houses or on holidays or things like that.
Which is a slay, to be honest, that look. But then when you were younger and you'd see that on the magazines and they'd be like, oh, they've let go of themselves, and it puts these titles on. Obviously, when you're a female and you think that's the norm, that, you know, that's not a good look, but this is a good look. We subconsciously have these pressures on ourselves. And I think that is the beauty of social media now, because I think we are seeing girls wear less and less makeup and be more comfortable with themselves, because, you know, the makeup doesn't make you beautiful or not beautiful.
Makes you almost feel it.
Yeah, it's that feeling.
I always find that if you feel like you look good or smell good, it makes you feel good.
Yeah, it gives you that
it's
little bit
all about that feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
With a male, it's more of dressing up or smelling good.
Or you see men who are like really addicted to the gym and think that they need to go to the gym and have a six-pack or have like a certain body. They're once again things that like pressures society has put on us.
Yeah.
And we just think that's what we have to do and how we have to look.
Yeah, that's why I think social media is quite good like now, because you put out what you want to put out, what you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
It's not like back in the day where you're getting papped or filmed where you don't almost give consent.
Yeah. And I think like it is nice to see like and refreshing to see people kind of be a bit natural.
Well, it's quite in at the moment.
Yeah, because, you know, we've kind of got to pave the way. Everyone's got to pave the way for the people that are like younger and whatnot.
Of course.
But it is hard. Like even myself, like I like to be, you know, natural and whatnot. But as I said, like I get Botox and whatnot. For me, that's because I do like the way it feels. Unfortunately,
what do you mean? But like the way it makes you feel? So,
I just like it. I genuinely just like it. I get a little kick out of it.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
A little kick out of it.
But I also like myself natural as well. But then when you do kind of look at it, it's like a lot more deeper than girls just putting on makeup to impress a boy, because I don't think girls, and guys need to realize too, girls don't necessarily always do things to impress guys. It's about how they feel inside. From
your point of view, were you ever like self-conscious about not wearing makeup in front of me? I guess it was probably a little bit different because of the villa. You didn't have a choice.
Do you know what? With you, no. But when I was way younger, I was so like deeply insecure.
Right.
But now I'm like a little bit older.
Why?
I don't know.
What was it from?
I honestly, if I like backtrack my whole life, even like when I was like a child at school, I was always so self-conscious about the way I look, very negative self-talk inside my head. And as I kind of got through
from a young age?
Yeah, I literally have like this such strong memory of when I was like a kid at school. I thought my best friends were the most beautiful people in the world. Yeah. One had really like dark, luscious hair and the other two were blonde, and I thought I had poo brown hair.
Oh,
and I was
really
like,
sad, though,
I was really small, I was tiny compared to them.
It's really sad though that you had those thoughts when you were a kid, because the best thing about being a kid is not having those thoughts and feelings, because you're 100%. Just like in the moment playing and things like that.
Yeah, no, this back dates like right back to primary school. And I remember literally looking at myself and hating it. And I think I actually dyed my hair for the first time when I was in like grade 2.
Wow.
I dyed it like purple.
Yeah, slay though.
Yeah, because I hated my poo brown hair and I like cried,
poo brown hair?
Yeah.
Stop calling it poo brown hair.
So like I was always so insecure for so long. I don't know. I just always very negative, always
Oh, look at you though.
I know. I was very short. And from being a child, people would be like, oh my God, she's so gorgeous. She would have been a model if she was a few inches taller. And
Really? Yeah.
always got comments like that.
Subconsciously, that's what you think about if that's what you're growing up with.
Yeah, always. So like from being a child, I was always so insecure of my looks. And if you actually look back, which pretty much no photos of me when I was younger, if there ever was, I would always do that.
Oh my God,
Cover
yeah.
the face.
So,
I still kind of do it.
Funnily enough, when I went back, obviously, with Jessie's mum, we were having conversations, and she got the picture book out and showed me like pictures of you as a kid, and even then you were like, no, don't show them, sort of thing.
Yeah, I hated it.
I think you were such a cute little girl, though.
Yeah, I know. I was a cute child, and I don't like to be mean as myself as a child
You were
because I was very
cute.
innocent.
You were very cute.
Yeah, but then it got really bad, the insecurity problems, like obviously when I was a teenager and then in my early 20s and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I think I did just kind of learn that why am I making myself miserable over the way I look?
100%.
And I did do things when I was younger, like I've had 2 boob jobs and, trying to change the way I look all the time. And I just got to a point where I realized I was like, doing these things of changing yourself is not going to fill the void.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can go get a boob job. I can dye my hair blonde. I can do this, that, but I'm still going to feel the same inside. That the problem was never my body, never my face, never anything like that. It was always how I felt inside and the way I looked at myself.
Yeah.
And I thought, what type of an example am I for like being an older sister, even like my friends and family, if I'm sitting there being negative about myself, how are they going to look at themselves? Because I had really bad body dysmorphia and I would be so awful about myself and say really degrading, horrible things about myself. And I'd actually say it in front of other people. And like back then I was so in the depths of like this mental illness that I did not understand like if I'm sitting here saying that I look awful, or if I say, I hate my arms, another person might look at their arms. Or if Jessie hates her arms, I don't like mine. So I just kind of realized like I have a responsibility not only for myself to get better and learn to be confident, but to also show other people that they can be confident too. Yeah. So I've done a lot of self-work.
Yeah, that's why you're so amazing now.
Oh, thank you.
I feel like body dysmorphia goes both ways in the sense
100%.
that I don't feel like men talk about it enough. Like I've definitely had it in my past, especially like running up to Love Island when I was on this like mega fitness grind, and no one really talks about that enough in the sense that your work, like for me myself, I was working up towards this show and I got like really lean, and I was like, I reckon I must have been burning more calories than I was intaking because I knew I was going on this TV show and I know how like judgmental people are, and it was this like really scary thing. And even like back then when I was like looking in the mirror, I was like, oh no, I need to lose more, I need to get leaner, I need to get skinnier sort of thing, when in fact looking back I was probably at an unhealthy weight and the way that I looked, where I was like, you almost had that drive for like more. But when I was looking in the mirror, I felt like I was out of shape.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like with this, once again, it's never a physical thing because, like you said, there was more. You'd look at yourself and never see perfection because in your mind, you're being mean to yourself. You can't actually see yourself for what you are because in your mind, you're like putting yourself down. Yeah. So if you can't fix your mind, you're just going to keep attacking yourself physically, which is really, really challenging. And I think like with that, I actually used to work in a gym and this stressed me out so much. So the whole thing like body dysmorphia, eating disorders, all this type of thing, really, I get really passionate about it. Yeah. I worked in a gym and I like the amount of guys that I would come in and see and just like, I would see men looking in the mirror, checking themselves out all the time, talking about, their gains, talking about getting bigger, self-improvement, obsessed with the gym, freaking out about their diet. But because they were men, it was like, they're just like, that's just what men do. And I was like, no, like that's not healthy because I can see these, I'd see guys come in, they'd start gymming at 17 years old and 2 years later still working in the gym. I'd see them and, they're so infatuated in it. But I just don't think that issue's ever really raised with men because it's just seen as normal.
Well, that's what, like, for me, for example, I was working on the farm, finishing, going for a run, gymming after that, and then eating. And my friends were like going out, and I know sometimes that I used to go out with them, but I was so exhausted and had no energy. A lot of the time, I would be there for half an hour and actually had to go home because I had no energy to talk. I had no energy to like socialize. And looking back then, probably where I've never admitted it, I probably did have a bit of an eating disorder and it wasn't a healthy relationship with eating and exercise. The balance wasn't there. And even kind of like now, and I do this a lot, you kind of like look back at your physique 2 years ago when you were on Love Island and look at it now. And obviously it's not the same. And it does create questions and like conversations in your head, like because like even now I'm trying to be in the gym and lose weight and like get into shape, but it's difficult.
Yeah, I know. I can see that a lot with you, and I do see when you kind of pick up those sorts of patterns, and I can see like that mental, because I think it's like a cycle. You know, you start to get sucked into that cycle of, you know, I'm not good enough. I need to exercise more. I need to eat
and it's
less.
that guilty feeling inside as well.
Yeah, and I've seen you not want to go to events because, or you know, not have a drink because you're working on your body and stuff. And you know, the amount of times we've kind of both pulled each other and been like, you know, it's okay.
It's good to with one another.
Yeah, we've got each other with that.
Yeah, you've got each other, and you build each other up, and you know, give the other person encouragement and everything like that.
Yeah.
So thank you, my love.
Thank you. But it is tough. And I think like men and women both do have lots of pressures on outside of relationships.
100%. So before you were saying how you were insecure about yourself and you, I guess, tried to fill the voids with different procedures, but they never actually did. For you now, and I guess for anyone that's listening who could be in the same shoes as you, what did you do to fill the void, or what advice, I guess, could you give?
Yeah, so every second I spent worrying about the way I looked and what other people thought about me were seconds of my life that was taken away from being with friends and family and the people I loved and enjoying life. And at the end of the day, there were some really tough times where I probably was not very pleasant to be around, and I was in that rut for so long that I literally just realized, I was like, why am I being like so obsessed with how I look? Why can't I get this out of my head and actually enjoy spending time with my friends and family? Why am I avoiding going and living my life and enjoying life with them because I think I need to look a certain way? And it was really challenging to break out of that cycle and break out of those negative thoughts. But I kind of just thought like, I don't know how to like word this without being a bit extreme. I kind of just thought like, I hate myself. So why don't I learn to, instead of hating myself, learn to put that love into other areas of my life and, you know, make sure other people aren't hating themselves. So like, you know, my little sister, if she's having a hard time and I'm here running 50 fucking kilometers, what use am I to her? Why can't I replace that feeling of love? Because love and hate are opposite. And that hate I have for myself, try put that love into other people. And honestly, it turned my life around so much because I started really mending my relationships with my family and started making new friendships and relationships. And even if it wasn't about putting my love into my family, you know, kind of putting love into my job and just having a bit of passion about little things. And yeah, I think that's how I kind of turned it around. And then just reminding myself that I am a role model and the way I was treating myself is not role model behavior. You got to treat yourself like you treat your best friend. My therapist told me that. Got to look after yourself. You know, I would never tell my friend, oh, you know, you ate a cake, you need to go run. What type of person says that? Why am I saying it to myself?
Exactly.
And I can only be as pleasant to people around me as I am to myself, realistically. So it's hard to break out of the cycle, but every time that negative thought comes into your head, replace it with a good thought. Back it up with a good thought. What have you done good? Because you're not a horrible person. It's just my brain's like telling me,
Well, I guess you're with yourself actually 24/7. Like you're always with yourself. So make the thoughts nice about yourself.
Yeah, you got to treat yourself like you treat your best friend. Honestly.
Exactly.
It's hard to do it, but the more and more you do it, the better you get at it. And like with negative thoughts and like mental health, it manifests, it goes round in circles. It's like repetition. When you go to the gym, you're working out your biceps, right? When you've got your brain, it's the same thing. So when you're working out your brain with negative thoughts and negativity, it gets stronger. The negativity gets stronger. So it's like you've got to really break hard and work on yourself for probably a long time. The thoughts might come back every now and then, but you got to stay strong in the heart. You know what I mean?
That was really nice, but then what, you just did a me and go, do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I mean? Get embarrassed talking about that.
Yeah, that's good though. It was really lovely. Honestly, it was amazing advice. It's really, really lovely.
Thank you.
And that's why you're such a strong person now.
And you're a strong person as well.
Oh, okay, this is what Jessie actually does. Or a side note as well, all the time. So if I try and say something nice to her, like you're such a strong person, like I've just done now, she does like Uno reverse card.
I'm embarrassed.
Yeah, she gets like embarrassed and does Uno reverse card.
What am I supposed to say? Thank you.
Yeah, you are. Thank you. I love you, my beautiful boyfriend.
Thank you, but you are too. When you said it to me, I was like, oh, I feel that way back.
No, for sure. Yeah, but you do that a lot of things. She'll like Uno reverse card it, and anything nice I say, she just flips it and says it back. Now we're going to have some time for some quick fire questions, agree to disagree. So the first statement is, can you be too comfortable in front of your partner? Agree or disagree?
Disagree.
You like,
I don't think you can be too comfortable. You know what I mean? They're your partner.
Yeah, I disagree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I disagree as well.
It may be an issue for them, but that's not your problem. Be as comfortable as you want, doll.
Yeah, you
Still
go.
treat them well, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't become complacent. All right, next one is being too laid back in a relationship is a recipe for a disaster.
Agree.
It depends what type of people you are. If you're both laid back and you're both on the same page.
It depends how laid back you're being. Like, you know, I'm taking the approach that you're laid back. Like, you're laid back, so you're not treating your partner. You're not taking them out. You're not going on dates. You're just like you're chilling. You're laid back. Do you know?
Yeah, you're gonna pull your weight, and you're gonna have. It's got to be even the relationship, even efforts.
For sure, and I always find that you don't want to lose that spark ever. You always want to do something to keep the relationship alive.
Yeah.
You know? Do you agree with me on that?
You've changed my mind. Look at us agreeing today.
Breaking up with your partner because they've let go of themselves is not a good enough reason.
It's not a good enough reason to break up with them.
It's not a good enough reason to break up with your partner if they've let go of themselves. It's not a good enough reason.
I would say it's not the reason. Do you know what I mean? If you want to break up with them, don't blame it on them.
It's an excuse.
Yeah, I'd say it's more of an excuse.
I would say it's more of an excuse as well.
And like I've kind of touched on, you know, if your partner has as such let go of themselves, in whichever way you want to see that or take that, maybe check in on them.
Yeah.
When people change their actions, maybe they're not doing all right.
Why are we agreeing on absolutely everything today? Look at us. We're growing. Look at us.
Looks are just as important as personality.
Yeah, I would say slight agree. I would. I feel like it's not as important. I definitely think personality is important. However, I do feel like in a relationship you do need to be sexually attracted to someone.
I feel like looks and attraction are completely different though.
Really?
I do think they are, but you might that's my personal opinion.
I guess there's two types of attraction. Your personality, you're attracted to someone's personality, and you're attracted to someone's looks. Correct?
Yeah, but then I think one day I'm going to be an old lady. You're not going to be like, oh, she's hot. Do you know what I mean?
No, I guess so. But like when I'm like, true. But then I would say like we would have been together for such a long time.
Yeah.
I would say like at this age, I do think looks are important. I wouldn't say necessarily that as important. However,
are you talking
I feel
more so like that initial attraction?
I feel like you do have to be sexually attracted to someone.
I think that's more chemistry than looks, but we can disagree on that.
Chemistry than looks?
I would say
explain that a little bit more then.
Chemistry is like the fireworks and chemistry between you.
Yeah.
And so like...
Yeah, but you want that like feeling of ripping someone's clothes off, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but like that doesn't necessarily revolve around looks, I wouldn't say.
Well, I kind of put that in the same category then. Do you know what I mean? Like with looks, it's more of kind of like that attraction to someone. Do you know what I mean?
I get that, yeah. I personally think that looks and attraction and chemistry are all completely different things.
Do you think attraction then, becoming attracted to someone can happen over time?
Yes, I do think that, yeah. So they grow on you the more you get to know them. Because you start to see qualities in them that you like. So that becomes attractive to you. Because I think attractive is like subjective. Anyone can have their own different opinions on that and find different things attractive. Okay. So like, for examtle, I think it's really attractive when like the way you look after me. Obviously, your looks are really attractive. I look after you
like a little baby, like a little tiny little baby. I do. I sometimes get Jessie. I'll pick her up. She hates this. I even do this out in public as well. This is one of my favorite tricks. I will like get Jessie. I've done it heaps, and I'll get her and I'll like cradle her like a baby and like rock her, and I'll do this like out in public as well.
He does it when I'm like in the worst mood ever.
Yeah,
like if I'm having a mental breakdown, he just gets me and cradles me, and I'm like, Will, I'm too stressed.
Yeah, but then she cracks a little fucking smile as well. She loves it.
It's kind of funny because you just don't let me go. Yeah. And people look at us in public like, what is wrong with these two?
Like, shh, calm down, little baby. It's like those have you seen those programs where it's like an adult living inside of a baby's body? There's like this documentary about it.
I've not seen the program, but that's how I feel when you cradle me.
Yeah, I know. That's the whole thing. I'm like looking after you, my little baby girl.
That is a wrap today. Oh, fuck. Sorry, I don't have the last.
Everyone, it's not.
You got me embarrassed.
No, it's not. It's not a fucking rap, people. You're gonna listen to us for another 5 minutes, okay? And then it will be a rap, okay? So we've got our agree to disagree moment of the week again. I'm absolutely loving doing these, but so do let us know if you do as well. But our agree to disagree moment of this week is Jessie hates PDA. And PDA stands for what, Jessie?
Public display of affection.
But I love it. I absolutely love it. Not too much of it, but I do love it. I think it's very cute. I think it's very nice. It's showing my affection out in public, letting everyone know you're mine. You know, all of that feeling. I do like showing my love and affection out, where Jessie, you hate it.
I think I'm a little bit socially awkward.
Do you reckon that's why? Because I've actually kissed Jessie out in public before, and I've caught her with her eyes open, looking about to see if anyone else is looking. I know, you hate it. Even like a cuddle, we were ice skating. Jessie blames this on me not being able to ice skate, but I was like, come on, give me cuddles and like hold my hand, and she wouldn't.
There were so many people watching. I was like, ah!
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Like, I'm like, in public, for some reason, I just never feel comfortable.
You hate it.
I do. I like on the tube, that shit freaks me out. And then like having someone like cuddle me, I'm like, oh my God, like are people watching? I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I think that's what you think most. You're like, who's watching?
Yeah, I just feel, I don't know. I like when I was in high school, I had a boyfriend and he wanted to hold my hand at lunchtime, and I was like, I had to hold his hand. I was like, fucking hell.
I'm not talking.
Otherwise he's gonna dump me.
I'm not talking about like sticking my tongue down your
No,
throat,
I know,
like
yeah.
That.
This is like for me though.
PDA.
So like he wanted to hold my hand. I was like, oh my God, fucking hated that feeling. I was like embarrassed. I was stressed. So I just broke up with him the next day, so I didn't have to be faced with that situation again, even though I actually did really like him at the time. And I had to break up with him because I was like, how do I say I don't want to hold your hand in public because I'm embarrassed.
Yeah.
No, but I'm not embarrassed of him. But for me, I'm like...
So what are you most embarrassed about when I do PDA stuff? Like, what don't you like?
Well, I do think it's cute. Like sometimes, like if you have a drink, that's stress and anxiety.
Yeah, I guess so. No, but you still are a little bit like,
I'm just like, I think I'm like conscious of like who's around, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Whenever I'm out in public, even on the tube, I just naturally feel stressed. Like if we are in a busy place, there's just too much going on. Too many things I can hear, too many loud sounds, too many people that I'm already stressed. So then like, if you like cuddle me and I look stressed, like I'm not focusing on the cuddle. I'm just standing there like looking stressed.
And I feel like I love showing my affection out and about for the world to see.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I do like sometimes like hold your hand and stuff.
Oh, wow. Lucky me. Sometimes I get to hold Jessie's hand, people. Woohoo. Yeah, let us know what you think at home, though. If you're listening or watching, are you a PDA person or not? Are you like Jessie or are you like me?
Now can I say it?
Now you can go and outro our podcast.
That is a wrap today, guys. Thanks for listening, watching, and coming back.
Like, subscribe, notification bells, all of that good stuff.
Yeah. Love ya.
Come on.
Oh, what did I say? I forgot my cue card.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. See you later, everyone. Love ya. Bye.